Here again with another Breaking Bad Season 4 episode review video. Before I get into that though, pretty important. If you're caught up to the point where I am at rewatching or watching Breaking Bad, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find out that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for all of you that are wondering, I've seen Breaking Bad many times, at least 8 times. This could be my 10th time watching this show. So join me and the man, the myth, the legend, the Lucifer fanatic, the Dexter fanatic, and Breaking Bad fan himself, Crazy Coffee Man, to discuss this awesome and amazing show in the comment section. With all that in mind, this will be Breaking Bad Season 4, Episode 6. The title of this episode is called Cornered. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. A couple of guys are in the refrigerated Los Porros Hermanos trucks, neither of which are Mike Ehrmantraut. Someone has went after the truck, and they're putting gas into the refrigeration unit, or the refrigeration unit. The men try to break out, but they are unable to do so. Shooting holes in the door doesn't even work because there's so much gas in there that it's just too difficult. And so the doors are opened, and the guys are laying there dead, and then the men that have hijacked, that have shot up this truck, are taking the labeled chicken containers. Skyler is listening to Walt's message over and over again with Gail Bedeker's face on the laptop. Walt wakes up in the afternoon. He says to Skyler, "You shouldn't have let me sleep." And Walt doesn't know what happened last night. I said some things. And Skyler asks if he knew this Gail Bedeker person, and Walt says he can't even focus. "Gail Bedeker, did you know him?" she repeats. "Did you work together?" she asks. "At some point you might want to do the same to you. Or they might want to do the same thing to you." Walt says he seriously doubts it. Skyler thinks Walt's scared and that last night was a cry for help. "You're in danger. We go to the police." Walt doesn't want to hear about the police. "I'm not the danger, Skyler. I am the danger. Guy opens his door and gets shot and you think that of me? No, I am the one that knocks." In one of the best lines of Breaking Bad. Walt slams the bathroom door and gets in the shower. Then Walt has regrets, and when he gets out to kind of go, "I'm sorry," and all that bullshit that he always does, Skyler's gone. Nowhere to be found. So Walt goes to see Bogdan to pick up the keys for the car wash that they now own. Bogdan tells Walt about being the boss, or talks to Walt about being the boss, and like how you gotta be mean sometimes. He tells Walt the most important thing is to be tough. You have to be tough. I was tough on you, but look at that. Now you're going to own this car wash. Bogdan hands the keys to Walt, who would have thought. And then Bogdan wants to take the picture frame with the first dollar he made at the car wash. And Walt says, "As is," to Bogdan. So Bogdan leaves. And then Walt breaks the frame to buy something out of the Coca-Cola machine. We catch up with Mike and Jesse. Mike asks Jesse if he's okay, and Jesse says fine, as Jesse's hands are kind of shaking due to him not using now. He's got a little bit of the jitters. And Mike says to eat something. Mike takes off and doesn't need help from Jesse anymore today. And Walt asks Junior, "What exactly did Skyler say, or what exactly did your mother say?" And Junior says, "She can't even be mad at him. You've got a problem. You're gambling. It's an addiction. She shouldn't be mad at you." And then Walt is driving Junior to school, and then he decides that school can wait. Walt says it's time we got you your own car, and Junior says, "If you're going to buy me off, buy me off." So, I don't know car models and makes. Junior now has a sweet red ride. It looks like a Charger, I think, from like the Fast and the Furious movies, a red Charger, but that might not be actually correct. So, Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what it looked like to me. I'm not a car guy. Don't own one myself. Don't drive. It's what I do, or what I don't do, I should say. So Walt arrives to work. Jesse's actually there, and he's there to work, and Walt's surprised by this. And then Walt's mad that he has to, or that Jesse has to back up Mike. Why can't it be Tyrus? Walt thinks it was a setup. Walt and Jesse go down to the lab. The phone rings. It's for Jesse. Jesse's got to go. Walt asks some of the laundry ladies that do the laundry upstairs to help him clean. They're very hesitant. They've probably been given orders to stay away from that area, but he gives them each $50, and then they come down to the lab. Walt's going to give them more after the job is done. So Walt just kind of sits back in his chair and relaxes and drinks coffee while the ladies clean away. So we catch up with Skylar. She's at some point where there's like four corners. I don't know where it is or whatever. But she flips a coin, and doing that made her decide to stay in New Mexico. Although I think the coin landed in the opposite place where she should have left. But that's what she thought. Mike and Jesse are watching a house. The plan is to sit there and watch the house to get their property back, as two people are selling their product, but they're not the ones that gave it to them. But Mike has sandwiches. Jesse decides to buy from the tweaker. So Jesse gets out of the car and is going to handle this. And Mike didn't want to do this because, tweakers or, people that are under the influence and stuff like that, like methamphetamines, are unpredictable. And then we hear, Tucker! 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 Over and over again. Jesse gets the door slammed in his face. Mike says, I guess we'll go with plan A. And then Jesse wants Mike to pop open the trunk. Then he grabs the shovel and goes digging in their yard. As Mike may know the PI stuff, but Jesse knows meth heads. Tucker takes over while Jesse goes into the house to use the John, is what he says. And then he hears the man scream, Tucker! 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 Over and over. Who the hell are you? He tells the tweaker that he's a friend of Tucker's. And then Jesse tries to convince the tweaker guy to go outside. And this guy wasn't named, at least that I know of. Probably is named, but I don't know it. So the man actually gets distracted by a noise, and then Jesse knocks him out as Mike enters. They have the container of the chicken that was marked with ready to talk written on it, we find out later. And then while all this is happening, Tucker is still outside digging away. Like, he's in a trance. He's doing what meth heads and all that do. He's in a trance. So the ladies are doing some cleaning, and Walt gives them each an additional $100, like we talked about. Tyrus is putting them on a bus back to Honduras on Gus's orders, and Walt's like, it was my fault. Yeah, we know it was, but this is what's going to happen. They're going to pay for your sins, so to speak. Mike and Jesse are at the diner again eating. Gus Fring shows up and needs to speak to Mike, and then Gus tells Jesse it won't be long. Mike wants 10 to 15 men, and he'll hit them hard. The people that are, hijacking the Los Portos Hermanos trucks, he wants 10 to 15 guys, and then he'll take care of them. And Gus asks Mike, how did he do today? Jesse, how did Jesse do? And Gus tells Jesse, I hear you can handle yourself. Jesse says, yes. Jesse asks Gus, why me? And then Gus says, I like to think I see things in people. Skylar arrives home after her time away. Junior talks about the new car to Skylar. She says he can take it around the block a few times. Just be careful, she has to talk to Walt. And Walt gives Skylar the line about everything he does is to protect this family. And Skylar says the car goes back tomorrow. She's going to have to be the bitch mom that Walter Jr. doesn't like. The car doesn't make sense to what their story is. Hank and Marie are going to see through that. Although sometimes Marie's a little out of it, so who knows. But Hank will definitely that doesn't really make sense. And then Skylar tells Walt, someone has to protect this family from the man who protects this family. And then Skylar goes into Holly's room to end this episode. So really fun episode. I really enjoyed it. These are like making me sit down and watch the episodes in a shorter amount of time. I liked it a lot. I'm going to give it a 9.0 out of 10. And our characters of the episode, I mean, there were some really good performances. I'm going to give a 3-way tie to Walt, Skyler, and Jesse. Mike, honorable mention, but didn't do quite as much. And maybe an honorable mention to the guy that kept saying Tucker over and over again. Tucker! Tucker! Tucker. No, I'm not going to include him, but all three of those, Walt, Skyler, and Jesse, were awesome. We didn't see Hank and we didn't see Marie in this episode. Actually, we didn't see Saul either, so it was a very, Walt to Jesse, Skyler focused episode for the most part, with a little bit of Mike and a cameo from Gus. That's about it. So, and Junior, but Junior is annoying, but pretty soon he might have the spotlight on him from one episode. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn if you're a fan of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, or El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider Hulk smashing the like button. Share the video with anybody you know that likes Breaking Bad or anything in the Breaking Bad universe. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section and discuss this episode or previous episodes with me and the man, the myth, the legend, the Breaking Bad fan, Dexter fan, and Lucifer fanatic, Crazy Coffee Man. Talk to us about the episode. Let me know what your score is of this episode. Whom your favorite, or who should win the character of the episode, for the males, the females, or just one for both. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You are watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return. I am the danger.